future of every country are its young students. Innovations, thinking out of the box, and most importantly, breaking conventions of everything that you and I think is the norm comes best at an early age. And nothing breaks the norm better than some hands-on approach to engineering, not just in the classrooms or in the workshops, but here, out in the real world, with real cars in a real and demanding arena of motorsport. And nothing showcases a better confluence of motorsport and engineering like the Baja SAE India.
Held every year at the Natrax facility in Pithampur, right outside of Indore, this is the 13th running of the Baja SAE India event. And we are here for the next few days to check out what these college teams have brought to the battlefield. There are over 170 colleges and 1,000 students spanning both the M-Baja and the E-Baja competition. And with this year's theme, breaking conventions, being the focus, let's see what these teams have done differently. Because at the end of it, only one team each will come out victorious.
Mahindra Baja, and clearly every year I say the same thing, that where we have come from, where we have started is something that we never thought will happen. And when you look around here and the kind of excitement, the kind of participation, is just amazing. The passion that they have today for the kind of things that they're doing in Baja or E-Baja, that passion is something they should always retain in their life, because whatever they do, if they're not passionate about it, it's not fun. And if it's not fun, you don't do your best. And therefore, we do believe that the students who go through Baja have a slightly sort of more well-rounded readiness to come into the industry, and we find that all the students that we have hired do better than average.
Well, it's every year this event gets bigger. I think the enthusiasm is very much there, and one of the reasons the number of cars goes up. We started with 120 vehicles that qualified to come here, and then 76 of them in the M-Baja qualified. So the student teams are also getting better, so they know what prevents them from getting qualified. So when you talk about any kind of complex technology, it's not something that you learn only from the books. You need that real life experience, and that experience kind of builds over time.
So this year our theme is breaking convention. We wanted to do something different. So the major breaking the convention, we totally changed the track. The track, M-Baja track, which we were using there, is now shifted in the high-speed track of Natrip.
Well, it evolved with the quality of the vehicles the boys make, in the sense that as they are making better vehicles, so we obviously have to configure the tracks.
Baja SAE India is set up in various stages and tests, all of which are points based. There are static tests, dynamic tests, and of course the endurance run. Every year, these tests revolve around offering a different set of challenges for drivers, teams, and of course the organizers themselves.
Thought of having provided this platform for the students, we feel very, very proud that these students have gone and made laurels for our country by spreading across industries all over the world and in very senior positions.
While there is a very high level of competition attached to Baja SAE, and while all these students are here to have a bit of fun, safety is paramount, and that is why all these cars have to go through a pre-event scrutiny to ensure they are built safely.
Everything from the seat belts, helmets, and even the way the welds are done is checked and rechecked and then passed.
In all circumstances, when they travel in dynamic events, the safety is critical part of it. So we check for them with their fire extinguishers, we check for them proper welding conditions, we check for them all systems are in place for the safety requirements.
And it's not just these technical tests that our students have to go through. To understand the automotive industry as a whole, the teams also have to make presentations for a sales and marketing strategy that gives them exposure to the more management-oriented side of things.
One thing this event offers, which is absolutely the need of the industry is the operating as one single unit. Operating is learning how to operate as a team. This is a fundamental requirement as an engineer gets into the industrial world.
The dynamic tests, just like last year, are divided into 4 sub-events: acceleration, maneuverability, suspension and traction, and the rock crawl. Now, each of these tests is point-based. So the faster a car is here, the more points that team can get, adding to its overall score.
And while a few teams struggled, and there was a fair number of cars turning over in some of the challenges, the spirit was most certainly at its highest, with teammates cheering on their drivers.
As has been the case with Baja SAE India these last few years, the event has been divided into M-Baja and E-Baja categories, with the latter comprising electric buggies. This year, the E-Baja entries are the highest ever, with over 50 teams participating, which also includes a few all-girls teams.
And what's interesting is that these teams are not all automotive or mechanical engineering teams, but also a fair few from the electronic engineering streams, showcasing just how the line between cars in the literal sense and electronics is fast blurring.
Last couple of years, we have seen significant increase in E-Baja teams for a couple of reasons. One is that the cost of the kits have significantly reduced and come down, with a lot of other suppliers pitching in, supplying the kits for E-Baja. Second is that if you have seen, there is a central government taking a lot of steps for boosting electric vehicles, and which has resulted into the industry also shifting to electric vehicles.
This year, to encourage the E-Baja teams, the organizers have opted for a far easier and flatter track, with fewer obstacles to overcome, to ensure that these cars, which are still in an infant stage of development, go faster and further.
The E-Baja track has been designed specifically for the electric vehicles. It's not as tough as the main Baja track. It's largely flattish with a couple of hill sections.
While some of the teams did show some great pace, a majority of the teams this year too, even with the easier track, did suffer from low battery charge, which resulted in a drop in performance during the latter half of the race. And while the E-Baja is a competition that attracts a lot of interest, some teams certainly have a long way to go to be competitive enough.
I've never made a secret of the fact that I'm a big, passionate advocate of electric mobility. And what's interesting to see here as part of SAE Baja, an event that I've followed for many years, like any automobile enthusiast would, is that E-Baja has seen a phenomenal growth in the last 7 years, from 11 teams in the first year to 53 teams this year.
And now for the main event, the one that all the students have been working towards the whole weekend, the M-Baja endurance race.
Nearly 100 cars, cutthroat competition and decade-old rivalries all boiled down to this, and once the flag dropped, the action on the track was palpable.
This year, the M-Baja endurance track was moved to a new location within the NATRAC's high-speed test pole. Not only is it more difficult with natural obstacles like hill climbs, but the organizers also threw in some really fast sections to improve the actual wheel-to-wheel action.
Apart from the obstacles and the challenges the roughly 5-kilometer track throws at the teams and drivers, participants also get into the thick of things with each other. And as with every year, there was some great racing to be witnessed. And after a grueling 4 hours, the race is finally done. Time to check out the winners. First up, the E-Baja victors. The runner-up trophy went to Acropolis Institute of Technology and Research from Indore, Madhya Pradesh.
Right now, these all awards are because of our faculty support, my team support, my designing team, my manufacturing team.
United by
passion!
United by
Passion!
And the winner of the 2020 Baja SAE India E-Baja was an all-women team from Bhimavaram in Andhra Pradesh, Sri Vishnu Engineering College for Women. This is also the first time an all-women's team has won any overall winner's trophy.
Today I really want to say that I'm a proud captain. Captain not because I'm a good captain, I'm a proud captain because I'm captain of the good team, the best team literally. Go Zeta, go!
Moving on to the M-Baja winners, the third place went to Silver Oak College of Engineering and Technology from Ahmedabad in Gujarat.
The pride that we are getting from it is immense. We are not going to stop over here. It is a very impact thing for us, and we are not going to stop. We are going to excel more and more and more every year.
Who we are? Machine makers! Who we are? Machine makers!
Second place went to Government College of Engineering from Aurangabad in Maharashtra.
Since 7 years we had the dream of scoring the first prize. This time we were just close to it, and next time we are surely going to bag it.
And the winners of the prestigious M-Baja category 2020 from the Pithampur round, the D.Y. Patil College of Engineering from Pune in Maharashtra.
Last year ये award just 13 points से हमारे हाथ से छूटा था, but we didn't stop there. We worked more harder this year, and we managed to achieve this award and achieve all of these awards this year. Who we are?
We are champions!
Who we are?
We are champions!
Who we are?
We are champions!
Such type of competitions must be encouraged and popularized so that the more students may get more opportunities. AICT also support the teams of students for participating in competition abroad by providing a grant of ₹10 lakh through its scheme Sport to Students for participation in competition abroad.
Baja is a hub where we get all the upcoming engineers who are really into automobile sectors, and they're performing so very well with the new ideas, initiatives, and we're looking for this kind of opportunity to meet the young brothers who are really good in automobiles.
Well, that brings us to the end of the Baja SAE event here in Indore. It has seen some great competition and camaraderie, and it has really stayed true to this year's theme of breaking conventions to the fullest, with some great innovations and improvements, especially in the E-Baja categories. Welcome to a rather wet second round of Baja SAE 2020, held this time around in the swanky Chitkara University just outside of Chandigarh. This time, just under 80 teams have made it to the second round to prove their mettle. And as always, a mix of static and dynamic points-based events, and of course the endurance race will decide who takes top glory.
The track is very different over here. It's a big 2-kilometer track, and the obstacles are fairly different from what we had over the last 2 years of this event.
The rules for the second round are exactly the same as that in Indore. All teams have to take their cars through technical inspection and have to make presentations on how they made their car and if they have any technical innovations that they incorporated. There is also a cost evaluation and marketing presentation that helps the students learn how to present their cars as a business case and improve their management skills.
Just like in Pithampur, once the car passes the braking test, it is eligible for 4 dynamic tests, all of which contribute to the points for the final tally. Sadly though, with the rains playing spoil sport this year, the cars will be subjected to just 3 dynamic events because the suspension and the traction track was a total washout.
But even the rain could not put a damper on the team spirit of these young students as they took to the maneuverability and the acceleration tests, showcasing just what these budget-built race buggies were capable of.
Just as last year, there is no rock crawl in the second round of the Baja SAE 2020. But the students here instead do a timed sledge pull or the tractor pull. Now this test is a great demonstration of the car's acceleration and traction because it tries to pull the heavy tractor over a distance of 100 feet in fastest times.
This time we got an opportunity to host the Baja, but unfortunately we got the rains for a couple of days, so it was like tedious for us to arrange. But fortunately we have come to the conclusion that we have done it very smoothly in the university.
With all the tests done and the sun beginning to set on a very demanding and very wet day, all the students were hoping for clear skies on Sunday, and the heavens opened up and answered their prayers.
Unlike other venues, Chitkara University has a smaller, tighter track that's just under 2.5 kilometers. And while the sun is out today, heavy rain over the weekend is going to ensure that the drivers have more than a few tough obstacles to overcome. And of course, all the slush and the muck is going to make it a fun race for both the drivers and the spectators.
While the race is 4 hours long, slushy conditions that proved very difficult for the few cars meant that the first few laps were actually formation laps where the student drivers got a hold of things and most importantly learned how to drive their cars in these low grip conditions. But when the flag dropped and the racing began, the rivalries were fierce. The action was palpable, and even being covered from head to toe in muck didn't stop these enthusiastic students from having an absolute whale of a time. When the mud finally settled and the checkered flag dropped, the teams that came out victorious hailed their drivers, the heroes of the day, and celebrated like there was no tomorrow. And with the scores tallied up, here are the teams that took top honours. In third place, Aditya College of Engineering from Surampalam in Andhra Pradesh.
तो सर हम पहली बार इधर बाहा में हमको प्राइज़ मिला है, तो बहुत अच्छा फील हो रहा है सबको भी.
In second place, Government College of Engineering from Amravati in Maharashtra.
We are very excited, feeling very proud of our college. I congratulate all the team members.
And in first place, taking the top honours at round 2 of the 2020 Baja SAE, the Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Institute of Engineering and Technology from Nanded in Maharashtra.
It feels great, and our pain, our hard work, our smart work paid off.
Fly high! Fly high! Fly high!
It becomes an honor and it becomes a challenge for us to make it more happening, and it should be the best of all the competitions. So we did it, and weather was not with us. Weather was giving us the challenge. But my team, I am very proud of my team that they took this challenge and tried to make the teams very comfortable in the campus.
And that brings us to the end of round 2 of the 2020 edition of Baja SAE India. It has seen fierce rivalries, close racing, a ton of heartbreak, and of course a massive learning curve for these students. While these 2 Baja events will continue in the years to come, so if you are an engineering student and you love your cars, there is a lot to look forward to.